Come on, honey, it's time for school.
But Mum, I don't feel well.
Oh, honey, you feel like you have a fever. Let me check your pupils. Oh, I know what fever this is.
Directly under the post, loom for him at dummy half. On to Marcus Marsh. Gives the ball out to Hasselman. Hasselman's got plenty of room to move to Schmoodle. He goes, the line, he's over!
Good footy, boys.
They had the numbers, Aberdeen. They had the score, but Schmoodle in a good dry part of the field showed great strength. And Timmy Bridget, dummy half. Long pass out the back to Jake Watts. Into Topless. Topless has found room to move! He's under the posts! Stone lead! 8-6!
Great job at Thomas. A little change in direction again. We talked about it early. A little step off the right, then the left, and straight under the pace.
Yeah, just a change of direction and pace.
The defence came up hard, Bomber, and gave Hagan Topless.
Welcome to another On the Couch, boys. Few absence and apologies straight up. Matt Kenny was going to be here today, but he's been doing a lot of hard work for the Footy Show, and he's with his wife spending some quality time this evening.
Happy wife, happy life, Reg.
Yeah, happy spouse, happy house.
That's what they say.
Yes. Don't worry about just the wives. Come on. But yeah, no, he couldn't be here today, and young Bailey Ellis was going to be here, but he's down at Curry. Curry still fulfilling his commitments there, even though he's out injured. But welcome back, Benko. We've got plenty to talk about.
We have.
We've got two wonderful guests beside us.
We have.
And I'll put the good-looking one next to you.
So you've bagged Fitzy out already?
Straight away. No.
Well, I'll cop that.
We'll shake it. Welcome, Fitzy. How are you, mate?
Good, thanks. Good to finally make it down here.
Yeah.
Show, so yeah.
No, and your dad, you've got big shoes to fill because he sat exactly in the same chair, and
hopefully do a bit better job than him. So.
Yeah. And we've got the butterfly, the social butterfly from Scone, the president, player, come organiser, Tom Hagan. How are you, mate?
Good, boys. Thanks for having me. It's a bloody pleasure to be here.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's been a great addition this year for the group to be able to have the players and provide some extra exposure by doing this, and it's only going to get bigger and better, Benko.
I couldn't agree more. That was our goal, wasn't it, at the start, Reggie, is to try and promote Group 21. Hopefully we've done that in spades because, we're doing all the games, we're dribbling shit on the lounge like we do here, and we have a good time.
Yeah, that's what it's about. It's about having a good time and enjoying ourselves and getting the word out there. Now, as you can see in the background, Stadium Australia has gone. It's been, ANZ Stadium, sorry, it's been knocked down. It's gone.
Yeah.
But we've got some great footage there, great images there in the background of some great players. And I know you weren't too happy that Dave didn't send you through.
So no, filthy. President of the club can't even get a run.
Wixie's outdone you, mate.
Oh,
Wixie.
He's far better looking than me, Jared, so it's probably understandable.
But no, it's been great. Have you enjoyed the show from at home?
Yeah, no, I have been. I've been tuning in every episode before I go to work. So,
yeah.
No, it's good.
No, it's good. Boys, we can't not start without talking about last night, the State of Origin. What's your thoughts?
Mate, I thought it was a great game. Congratulations to the Blues. They were sensational, and for once in Origin history, New South Wales finally score a try on the bill to take out the series, because for many, many years we've been on the back end of a trouncing or a close loss, and it was great to see New South Wales score a victory, and it was just sensational. And I think I told you a couple of weeks ago, Reggie, I have got a serious man crush on Jake Trbojevic.
Yeah.
I love his style. I love the way he plays the game. And
you're filthy about the dominant tackle with him.
Well, yeah, and I spoke to Hags off air, but we'll get to that because when Hainsey gets here, we'll get some clarification. And I just love the way that they went about it. I still think the first half suited Queensland because of the stop-start, but when the second half came and the referees put the whistle in the pocket, it was more open, and I think New South Wales, the little man of New South Wales, was just dominant, and it was so good to see.
Well, the commentators said it in the commentary. Now the whistle's gone away, the fatigue starting to play a contributing role to it.
I think how big of impact, boys, did just one little? I think one sub really made a big impact, and that was Cameron Murray.
Yeah.
What do you think?
He only come on the second half, and I thought he was absolutely terrific.
Yeah.
Do you reckon the refs got worded up?
No question, mate.
Because it was a completely different ball game.
Yeah. Absolutely. Someone, Annesley's must have got on the speed dial to someone or said, for God's sake, get down there and, shut this down, because it was just horrendous.
Yeah,
it was Hags. And the boys in the Channel 9 commentary, I think they nailed it last night. Someone definitely must have said something to them, because the same infringements were not getting penalised at all in the second half, and the game was much more flowing. And I think everyone across the whole country thoroughly enjoyed the game, with the blokes putting the whistle in the pocket and just letting the footballers speak for themselves, because that's let the game speak for itself.
Well, Queensland's done it to enough to us over the past few years. And what do you think of Paul Kent's comments coming out and saying that Freddie Fittler was lucky? It's all been luck that he didn't get the job previously when he applied for it. Laurie Daly got it, and he didn't have the backbone of the Queensland side to go up against with the Cameron Smiths. The Cooper Cronks.
Yeah, but what substance is he making those comments?
And I don't really understand what's he trying to prove. What's he trying to run Freddie down by?
But what is it?
He's a victim of circumstance. He wanted the job when Daly got it and they overlooked him. But what are you trying to prove? Like, he's just coached us to 2 wins in a row, which no coach has done in 15 years.
Yeah. In an unorthodox style too. That's his approach, his mannerism. I think he's done a great job, and he copped so much shit going into round 2.
Well, who else would have dropped Latrell?
Yeah,
not one other coach in the NRL.
Great call for Pokes.
Yeah, and even leaving Clemmer and that out.
Yeah,
to start with.
Yeah, 100%. But do you think, boys, that last night's try would be New South Wales' greatest moment, big moment in Origin history?
I think it had got to be close, Hags. I thought it was. It's got to be up there with their best ever performance over a series, because
to come back.
I'll ask you this question: 2 of the greatest individual tries, Fitzy, by Damien Cook. Last year and this year, it was mirror image of last year, wasn't it? How sensational was that run from dummy half, and the quick play the ball from a huge guy in David Clemmer. He took it, and it just unbelievable stuff. And
well, there's been so much hype in the media, but unnoticed and hasn't been really spoken about, touched on in the media. Ethan Lowe in a losing side.
Brilliant.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, great debut.
I think he was 14 hit-ups for 90.
52 tackles.
Yeah, 14 hit-ups for 90 metres or something. Yeah,
52 tackles.
4 from 4 goal kicking, pressure kicks. But I think the centre of excellence in coming through that tunnel that they did from outside the stadium, didn't actually just build it at home. I think it was great that the players walked through. They've taken it from an NFL side over there that have had a successful career at college, whereas they go through the past players, and the Batchies Blues were there. I think that it just... No wonder that Origin is held in such high regard that it smashes all the viewing charts.
Oh, mate, it was sensational. Can I just ask, Ethan Lowe, he won the premiership with the Cowboys?
Yes.
Yeah.
So he comes into a game 3, for Matt Gillette, who was out injured, and really, I was absolutely blown away by his performance in a losing team, and because he was nearly the difference in the game itself, because everyone thought, he's not going to handle the pressure, but this guy has played with Thurston, he's played with Michael Morgan, he's played in a premiership winning side, so pressure to Ethan Lowe was nothing.
But he spent most of last year in the Queensland Cup.
Exactly.
And he went down to South Sydney, and it's crazy. He's been playing the centres most of the year.
Has Mitchell Pearce redeemed himself? Do you think he had a big game?
Yeah, I thought he'd done his job well.
His defence was quite good.
Yeah,
a lot of people overlook his defence, Hags, I reckon, and I always think he's a really good defender. He's a little bit like Ben Hunt. Ben Hunt for the Dragons makes some sensational tackles. But Ben Hunt's attack has just been really dormant, but his defence has been sensational. I think I still believe Mitchell Pearce hasn't been... See, everyone wants him to attack and be the game breaker. Yeah. But in past Origins, Mitchell Pearce's defence has been excellent. In past Origins that he's been in a losing series, in a series loss, his defence has always been good. He just had his attack just hasn't been the attack that everyone wants to blow people away with,
But he, like I said, I think that it was a great game by himself, but he's copped so much flack. He's been even copped the blame for series losses before that because people have selected him.
That's right.
And I think the culture of moving to Newcastle away from the Sydney has done him well, not just as a player, but in the environment, in the headspace. I think it's...
Well, did you see Danny Badiris give him a big hug at the end of the match? Did anyone catch that?
Yeah.
Danny Badiris, Newcastle boy, and I think he was so overwhelmed. Like, he was so proud of the guy, you know. And Mitchell and Wayne Pearce, his dad, was very emotional when they interviewed him after the game.
Yeah. I wouldn't have left Clemmer out. That was a big call by him.
He had a great game.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. He didn't do anything to lose his position. It was an injury, and he came back to play the club level to have his operation at the end of the season, and then to find out he wasn't in the side, gets in the side, and he doesn't just do the job that he's done previously. He goes above and beyond again.
Do you think Ted Tedesco? I think it was quite clear he was ripped off last year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So he could have pulled out 2 Man of the Series awards in 2 consecutive years, other than last year was an absolute farce, but it is what it is. But he was so brilliant, absolutely brilliant in everything he did.
Yeah, I reckon he's proven that he's the best player in the world.
No question.
Right, now we're back to Group 21 talk now. Tom, you're in the undefeated Scone outfit. How's things looking up there? Is it true, behind the scenes, you guys have adopted the different training method that you don't just set the dates, that you do it as a whole team whenever everyone's available?
Yeah, as far as training goes, we train Tuesday regardless of who's working. We have about 8 shift workers in our first grade squad, and a few in reserve grade as well. So the whole club train together as a Tuesday, and then we do ball work on the Thursday or the Friday, just depending on which side of the roster that falls on. But yeah, as a whole, everything's going pretty good. All 4 grades are sort of holding their own and doing their thing. It's been a pretty good year. Start of the year, we weren't real sure how we were looking with, especially with depth. We're a bit short on players, and we sort of lost 7 blokes out of first grade. And the only one we really signed was Adam Kleiser, which admittedly he's been a terrific signing, and anyone that's seen any games can recognise that. But yeah, other than that, it's just been blokes from within the club stepping up, like talking about guys like Jake Collison and that have just been, Jake Watts, just been unbelievable. So that's that's what we've been building on. And
the culture within the club, you've got a great, I know it's a closed group on social media that not most of the public see. Your communication from the likes of Dave Casson, who's a valuable member of what's going on, you've got that good culture happening up there at the moment. You know, it just seems to be transitioning those younger players into that senior role, and it's happening comfortably because, look, let's face it, we don't see many players leave Scone to sign elsewhere.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. And I would love to take credit for that, but I think the hard work at Scone's been done years and years, generations earlier. Like it's, I think in 2016 we won our comp for the first time in 10 years, and I think that's roughly the longest stretch we've had without winning the comp at Scone. So it's sort of the guys there, and I couldn't even name who they were, but the culture's there, and we just sort of abide by it. Everyone, we play together and we all go for a drink together, and it seems to do the job. And as far as the kids go, we just like to make them feel as much a part of the club as we can. And the funny thing is, as an 18-year-old, I coached an under-12 side, and in that side was 5 kids that are playing first grade at the moment with me. So, and never in my wildest dream did I think that. So that's what it's all about.
That's exactly right. And things have also, like I've said, Aberdeen with their social media and their, the way the comp's been this year, and the group as a whole have been very proactive in their closed group on social media and keeping things active. It seems to be happening up there as well, but a lot of injuries through your team especially.
Yeah, we haven't even been close to running a full sort of squad out on the park, but hopefully we're slowly starting to build anyway, and we get a few boys back I think next week for when we play Scone, so hopefully we can give them a good test anyway.
It's great to have you both on the couch, especially because it's a washout round this weekend, so only the Greeter game being played down there. I think actually I saw that the Greeter Oval was still closed as of today, so that might not go ahead. But Liam Foran, this man here and he named him the best player in the competition.
No, I said the most valuable player.
Most valuable, okay, I won't misquote you, most valuable player. By far, I said, I believe him and Clydesdale are on par. I couldn't separate them. But
it's very close.
His kicking game and the way he's been leading that team and stepping up at the moment with the injuries.
Yeah, every single week we've got a lot out, but Foz just, he wants the ball, he takes hit-ups, he's doing everything he can. Ever since they gave him the captaincy, he's gone to a new level. Yeah. So it's been great for the younger fellas and that coming through the grades. And
who spoke with us and spoke about discipline? That's the one thing that's letting you guys down at the moment is discipline. Has that been something that's been focused on in the recent week with training?
Yeah, I thought we were a lot better on the weekend, but we just you're not going to ever change the referee's mind.
No.
So there's no point getting out there and trying to argue with them. So.
Oh no, but Benko tries his hardest to get real interpretations out of.
Oh my God.
Shane Hayne, but the referees
No,
themselves.
me and Hainesy, Reggie will be pleased to know are on very good terms.
Oh, yeah?
We were texting each other during the week.
Oh, that's good. Because you called him. You said you didn't want to join the Muppets, and I think.
No, I said I didn't want to become another Muppet.
Become another Muppet.
That's
yeah,
right. He wholeheartedly agreed.
Yeah. He wants you to do the referees course. You know that.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, Reggie or Shane. But I just want to go back to what you said. We made the comment, Hags, about we were talking late on the call last week that about our MVPs for the year so far, and I made the comparison between Foz and Adam, only because at this point in time, and there's a gap in a half on the first grade point score, obviously, but I think Scone can still win without Adam in the side, on a weekday. But right now, Aberdeen, that's my opinion. I don't think with the input that Foz has, I don't think Aberdeen would win without him. That's why I rated him as the most valuable player. I mean, there's nothing in it. Realistically, there's nothing in it. But watching Foz play in his kicking game and his running game is just, when I watched him play you guys up there on that Thursday night before the Scone Cup, and you towed them up.
Oh, that night you
played Denman.
Well, no, it was another night game.
Yeah.
It was another night game. Anyway, it was another night game, but he never stopped. I think he was taking two or three hit-ups in every set of six, trying to drive it forward, and he wasn't entitled to do it. He's a halfback, but he just sort of stuffed this. I'm going to drive it forward, but I just think he's a really, really special player, and as I do, I mean, I still think Adam's outstanding young player. That was just my opinion. Look, it might change in another 5 or 6 weeks.
Other than the Clydesdale and Foran, because we've said that they've been standouts, I'll put the question to both of you. Who do you think would be a player that you'd see in the top 3 at the moment going for the points for the Player of the Year award? Who do you think, like you played against them?
Yeah, well, if going away, I think Hayden Dobbs has been unbelievable for us this year every week. Yep. He scored another 5 on the weekend, but sort of I sit here and just praise Scone. But I think, I don't know, he's missed a few games, but the fellow Bradley from Singleton, I think he's top 5 player in the comp every day of the week. I think he's a pretty special talent, I reckon.
Yeah. What about yourself?
Yeah, well, I was going to say topless. He doesn't have a bad game in him. He's always a danger, like Scone. But if I was going to mention another bloke from our club, would be that Tyler Prince Campbell.
Yeah, definitely.
He's always close to one of our best. So
yeah.
Hits hard and runs hard. So.
Who's been picking up the player in your team mostly?
Foz and Tyler both get a fair few. Yeah, I think Hamish might have got one. So Savage got one week as well. So
That might have been my influence, you reckon? Because I know about your little players group that he's had behind the scenes. They call him Cameron Reynolds.
Do they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's having that nickname? So.
We're going to mic him up with the new Impact microphone. So we've got the microphone coming that players wear in the NRL that they can actually be impacted and it doesn't hurt.
We can't even get the referees one proper, at the moment.
But this is a better one than what the referees have got to say.
PG though, if you're going to tap into the refs.
Yeah.
We copped a Gobfield 2 weeks ago, Hags, when Aberdeen played Denman up at Aberdeen. Yeah. There was a bit of a melee in the second half, I think it was, on it, and
he's a very loud bloke.
We had to. I don't know how Reggie went with the boot, but it was some serious. There was some serious language getting used. It was coming through on our earphones, and
yeah. Oh, but like I said, the feedback from not only the footy stuff, the footy fever, what we're doing with the live call, that's been getting a lot of praise too. And you guys being able to listen to it well, you can't listen to it at certain pits, but being able to listen to it when you're not at the game, we do see it's not live that you actually see who's online. It sort of gives you an account, like it might say 11 people, but then it'll say on another program 52 people listening. So it's having a good impact that people actually can have that day at home with their family that weren't necessarily going to go to the game anyway and listen in. And You do a good call. I'll give you that.
How
mate.
big an impact will Mickey Radford not being in the semis make?
Massive. Yeah, no, massive. There's no two ways about that. Mick this season's been absolutely unbelievable. I think he's the Premier.
I think he's in the top 5 players of the season
I think
so
he's
far.
the best front rower in the comp.
Yeah, no question. Mate.
His go forward's just ridiculous, and that's just So it obviously is, but like I've said, we've got plenty of blokes there that are willing to step up. Like I spoke about Jake Collison, I can't praise Jake enough, and got Isaac Austin there bludgeoning in the second row. He can step up, and we can sort of got Jimmy Everly and blokes like that to put in the second row. So I think there's plenty of options there. But he's going to be a big loss. But it's just going to be a matter of everyone digging in. And
is Nick Watson a second row or a centre?
Both.
What's his favourite position?
I think he's probably one of them fellas. Benko's getting a little bit older, and
I tell you what, he has such a great impact on the game.
Yeah, really good
fan
hands.
of Nick.
Yeah.
He's really
It's not just him, it's JJ that can play both too.
But the game he was up there, absolutely. The game he played Demon, I think he played in the second row.
Yeah.
See, I don't think I'd ever seen him play in the second row. He's always been out wide.
Yeah, and I think he probably falls into that same category as JJ played sort of in the backs of the halves their whole life, but age catches up with us all eventually, and you get a bit closer to the action, and you don't have to worry too much about the quicker fellas getting around.
Well, see, I think down the track, when he gets a little bit older, Hamish Wolfgang is a dead set back rower. And look at the size of the guy. He's devastating.
Like on the weekend you were there, they put him in the second row for a little bit, and he loves being in there. And he's just so good at finding his hands and knees. He's probably the quickest player the ball going.
He's unreal.
Is that how you beat Scone? I mean, they're quick off the mark, then they dominate the ruck so well.
Oh, we haven't actually beat them.
Is that how you do? Is it you got to speed up that play the ball?
Yeah.
Is that to get them on the back foot?
Yeah, definitely. So, hopefully when we get Hoogs back, hopefully he's back next week. And him and Clarkie, bit of a 1-2 punch there. Because Scone did similar with like Wixie, and then Cracker jumps in
and of course the other person that has signed for you guys and hopefully playing soon is Shane Hasselman.
Yes, it'll be very good to have his leadership out there, and just to take a bit of pressure off Foz. So,
that'd be a signing that we spoke about. Whether your brother decides to plug boots on or
fingers crossed we can get him out in the blue and whitey. I know he thoroughly enjoyed his time last year, and it's just a matter of getting him over the line. But we'll see what happens.
Do you reckon he'll end up playing? Your personal?
Yeah, I reckon he will.
Yeah. When Bradford's gone?
Yeah, more than likely he'll have to have a few games, I imagine, before the. No.
Won't he have to play to qualify for the semis?
I don't know.
Is there a rule?
No, not with going backwards. There is.
Right.
Going backwards, it is. I don't. Think you could sign bloody Cooper Cronk before June 30, and you could turn up and play.
I was very surprised that I heard that he'd signed with back this game. Very, very surprised. I thought if he was going to sign with anyone, I thought he was going to pull on the maroon and white. I honestly did. I thought he was going to stay. I thought he was going to stay with or come back to Denman. But it was. I mean, at the 11th hour, I mean, nothing was happening.
Do you reckon there's a bit of influence at the family table?
Well, doesn't Dan's in charge of Denman, isn't he?
Yeah, but Dan doesn't sign the checks. No, I'll let him a couple.
I know what you mean, but
I'll let him a couple of Tim Tams at crib one day and said to him, "You're right, big fella."
Well, I would have given him the dark chocolate Tim Tams as well. But anyway, it was a surprise to me being grounded in Denman. I thought, and I know Denman would. They're desperate for a backup, couple of backup forwards. They were desperate for a forward to join in, and they got Thorny, and it is what it is now. But,
and of course, they've lost the loss of the captain coach. We'll speak about that now. Adam Gretsch, broken jaw, hasn't had a great run with injuries over the past couple of years, but send out our best wishes to him because
he had the operation yesterday.
Yeah, right.
About 3 o'clock yesterday, Arvo.
Yeah, well, we can only wish for a speedy recovery, but also Jackson Ball. It wasn't a great sight to see out there, young Jackson laying there motionless. No. But I called in, I was in Sydney during the week, called in and seen him at the hospital. His spirits are high, and they won't know the full outcome of what is going on for 6 weeks until the swelling comes down. So we wish you all the best, Jacko, and keep up that sense of humour, mate. And to Keg, especially Keg and the family that have made the effort, they're staying down there, coming backwards and forwards. to the Ball family, we send out our well wishes. So, but with two players there injured, Jackson's put his hand up for Denman, 2 games a weekend to ensure that they're competitive and that they're doing the right thing. So
and the coaching role as well. He took on the reserve grade coaching role.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Denman had just been decimated with players unavailable through injury or
going to the snow,
or one thing or the other. But this is indicative of a 14 competition, especially when we've got a team flying out in front undefeated, and you've got to look at, well, some players, what is the incentive to back up week in and week out when you're getting your asses handed to you? But you've got to ask yourself, you've got to find some motivation within yourself and say, well, yeah, it is a 14 competition, but when I'm out there playing, or how do I want to be remembered when I'm playing? What can I do? What do I want to achieve out of the game? I mean, if you put your name down to play, at some point you've got to have some morals and say, well, I'm willing to put my hand up and step up. At the moment, there's some Denman boys out there that, and I said it on Sunday, there's some Denman boys that at the start of the year were dead set reserve graders, and they would know that. But the finding a spot in first grade would have been the last thing on their minds. But all of a sudden they're up in first grade, and yeah, it was a dead set caning, but these guys just went out there and they had a dig. They had a dig, and that's all you can ask for. It wasn't pretty. The second half wasn't pretty at all, and then Reggie got hurt 15 minutes or so before full time, and it was just, the heads were well down well before that regardless. But yeah, they were decimated, and look, with a bit of luck, this fortnight break might spark something in some of the players, and they'll all get out there and they'll say, well, righto, there's 5 weeks to go. How do we want to remember 2019? Do we want to say that we turned it up, or do we want to put our hands up and say, well, stuff it, let's have a real dig and just see what we can get out of the remainder of the season? And look, that's all I can say. That if I was, if I had some influence at all on the boys, if getting beat at rugby league's the hardest thing you think you'll face in your life, you want to think again, because it is just a game. But in the end, you got get out there and have some self-belief and some
mongrel,
some bit of heart.
What's your thoughts on that with the 14 competition?
No, I think it's it's really, really hard. And I don't like harping on it. We're in the situation that we're in, it's unfortunate. But I think.
Do you find it hard to get motivated though to play this?
I think when you're playing the same team 2 weeks in a row, which has been my grief the whole time, I think the draw need to be redone as a first grade draw, and everyone else works around it, because that is the premier competition we have. Whether we have 4 teams or we have 8 teams, that shouldn't matter. And I just think it makes no sense to play 2 teams a week in a row. We played Aberdeen however many times. I think we played them 4 out of 6 or something like that, 4 out of 7 maybe. That part of it's really hard, but I think that the most important thing is that looking forward, that we make sure that the right people get involved with the Muswellbrook Club and put in a helping hand to ensure that it doesn't, and Greta as well, just to ensure that we're not in this situation next year, because I think the people from within Greta are going to put up with it this year, but I don't think they will next year. And I think even with our sponsors, and I'm sure that every club's the same, it's not easy this year.
Well, you've got to look at it from a group sponsor's perspective.
Yeah, 100%. Well. So that's what my biggest concern is, that I think that we just make sure that it gets sorted. Yeah. And
do you think a round table meeting? I've said that some teams like you guys have a brilliant business plan at the beginning of the season, a brilliant initiative that could be adopted into business plans for all clubs, the auctioning of the jerseys. To become self-sufficient. Do you think it's going to take a round table meeting that the clubs initiate themselves as committees with 3? It doesn't have to be arranged by Jane or anyone else, but to come together and say, right, what are we going to do? What do you guys, where are you at? Would you be willing to go to that table for a meeting? Or?
Oh, 100%. I actually spoke with Lammy. All the Muswellbrook crew came back to the Weathers Will Round, came back to the Sporties in Scone, and we had a couple of beers together and that, and they all supported the auction, and I just told them how much I appreciate it. And I said to Lammy, if there's anything that we can do to help And so I'm very fortunate that the hard work's been done at Scone. I just sort of
Cruised into the Freddie Fritler role,
Well,
as Paul Kent would say.
well, pretty much. Like nothing's changed while I've been in charge. I haven't reinvented the wheel or anything like that. It's just been a fortunate
Succession.
fortunate 18 months, I suppose. And that's what I said to him. If there's anything we can do to help, and I've got a few ideas of what I would be doing if I was in charge of Muswellbrook. And yeah, I think that's So if there's anything that I can do, I've told him that. And
Well, I'd be interested to hear that off air. I think that'd be fantastic. But another thing that we have spoken about up at Scone, I'm not dwelling on, is the facilities. And up on Shire Council, of course, there's money sitting there. They want to do redo the ground and the lights, which is fantastic. But the facilities there in the canteen and from a viewing platform to be able to provide that.
Someone should have hit Barnaby Joyce up while we had the swing seat up there in the election, state election. And I mean, realistically, that grandstand, I mean, it was there in the 80s when I was playing.
that's the beauty of it, though. The nostalgia.
It's,
I used to sit in that grandstand as a
no,
bloke.
totally, I totally get it, but build another one.
But do you want
Build
a
something
grandstand,
next to
though?
it. Well,
I'm saying more better facilities for the canteen, like something like Singleton's got, but a mixture of what Aberdeen have got as well. I think that's...
Well, the com box and that's on its way. It's just a matter of where we're at with that is that we got the grant, but obviously there's nothing you can do to the field during the season. We got it in January, so it's too late for it to happen. So the field will be fully redone. Hopefully as soon as this season's over, they'll be into it, fully re-turfed, pop-up sprinkler, all that sort of jazz, and that's like a ridiculous amount of money. We're in the wrong industry, boys. It's about 150 grand.
Yeah.
I said, I'll quote 149 and do it for them. And sort of upgrading the lights, and then with whatever's left over, that's where the second story is going to go in the canteen and where we go.
It's needed for a while because you guys are one of them in history, the successful clubs, the most successful club in Group 21. I think, but facility-wise, you've got the new the new shower blocks and change rooms and that. But just that area, that blackout that happened on the night.
Oh, mate,
I wasn't there.
The freak event that happened. It shouldn't be happening in this day and age.
No,
That's no fault of the club.
No, and we're a little bit hamstrung with the fact that the council do own it. We rent the ground off them and we maintain it and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, so we're a little bit hands are tied with what we can and can't do with it. All needs to go through the appropriate channels. But hopefully, as soon as this season's over, we'll see things moving there.
Yeah, because you guys have put a lot into your facilities. Even recently, the players getting behind the scenes, and I like that the players all get involved with their different skills. The slab out the front of the
that was good. Yeah,
in the gym.
Welcome addition anyway.
Yeah. Now you did mention about the Junior League. Want to speak on that? The Hunter Cup is on, of course, this weekend out at Denman.
Yeah, so the Hunter Cup's out at Denman. So if anyone wants to get their football fix, head out to Denman. I've actually, along with Jada Apthorpe, we coach the under 12s group side, which is a terrific little team. It's their first taste of rep footy. So they'll be their first game's at 10 o'clock out at Denman. And both fields will be running at Denman all day, so there'll be a huge opportunity for anyone to go out there and have a look. My missus is going to kill me if I put my hand up for any more coaching jobs, but I absolutely love working with the kids from within Group 21, and I sort of think it's really important that kids have the opportunity to play where their dad isn't the coach, and my brother Ben, his son Diesel, plays in that age group, and I just thought it was really important that it's not someone's dad coaching them the whole way through, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, and some dads are far more credentialed than me to be coaching, but I just think to give little Johnny his opportunity, he doesn't need to hear that he's only a team because his dad's the coach and all that rubbish that goes along with it. So I think it's good, but I enjoy it. They're good kids as long as they listen and do what you ask them. Well, I 100% love it.
Yeah, but just look at it. I've got it here. The coaching staff from the sides that we've got. You've got the under 12s. Steve Halen has the under 13s. Scott Pennell has the under 14s. Peter Warden has the 15s. The ladies league tag for the under 14s is Al Baker. Under 16s league tag Sophie Casson. So there's 140 Group 21 players and 40 staff, all just from the 6 clubs. That's fantastic, and it's great to see those former players still involved. It'd be fantastic to see the clubs now say to their players, right out and put out a post, we need at least a minimum of 6 of you grade players in your gear to get out there at certain points during the day to at least go and talk to the Group 21 sides. I think it'd be just a wow factor for those kids.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. And we try to do a similar thing at Scone where our A-grade players all go to our big junior league days at Scone and hand out man of the match medals and that sort of stuff. It's just, I don't think that, and I think it'd be across the whole groups, I don't think the first grade players understand the influence that they have on young kids. Like as a kid, I used to sit in the crowd, and when the Thoroughbreds won the 98 grand final, the two ball boys were myself and Dan Ritter, and Josh Adams was the sandboy that day. Like so, and I think that's what it's all about. You look up to these blokes and think they're absolute legends, and I still get a bit giddy when I talk to someone now because they're heroes of mine growing up, sort of. Yeah. And I think kids are still the same now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they when it's just getting them out from in front of the Xbox and the electronic devices.
Yeah.
So, let's talk about last weekend. Ladies League tag results were Merriwa 24, Muswellbrook 0, Scone 42, Singleton 4, Murrundi 60, Denman 0. I watched the Murrundi game. Some perfect performances there, and they really did put on a brilliant display. They came so close to Scone a few weeks ago and lost on the siren. But the Scone 42, Singleton 4 comes as somewhat of a surprise to me that it blew out to that bunch. Betty Tom.
Yeah, I'll let you get away with one of them today. No, my wife actually got a double last week too, so she's leading the try scoring tally in the family for us this year. But no, the Scone girls they're just a bit of a juggernaut. But I think Murrundi and Merriwa are both two really quality sides. So I think in previous years where it's sort of been a bit of one-way traffic with the Scone girls, I think especially Murrundi in particular are going to keep them on their toes.
And the Aberdeen ladies had a bye, but they had a win the week before.
Yeah, they had a great result that day. I think they put nearly 40 on Denman.
Yeah.
That was Kelsey French's second game, so she's been a very good addition.
So
to
after
that
this washout round, it's pretty much put your foot down now with the Aberdeen girls. They've had that taste. It's a shame they had the bye and then the wet period. But Merriwa 24 defeated Muswellbrook 0. That's a scoreline that surprised me. The Muswellbrook girls are very competitive, but Merriwa is a class act.
Muswellbrook, from all reports, haven't got a big squad.
Yeah.
I think they might only have 11 players. So that's certainly it's going to tell on them.
Yeah. The under-18s, Singleton 18, Scone 8, Muswellbrook 26, Denman 20. I'll let you speak on.
It was a great game. It could have went either way. Muswellbrook were just, I think, they were just too good on the day, obviously, but full credit to the Denman boys. I think both sides only had one or two subs. Jai King was outstanding. Every time Jai King gets on the ball there, he's a big lump of a lad, and I reckon he's nearly impossible to stop. And they know it. They use him like a juggernaut. As soon as they're about 10 out, they'll jump out and give it to him, and he just charges over Kingy, and he's really good. I want to pay special mention to the young fullback, Tyrese Anderson. He's done a bit of refereeing for us at Touch Footy, and his brother Liam is a touch judge in the rugby league, the Group 21, and he was outstanding on Sunday for the Muswellbrook Rams, young Tyrese. So well done, Ty, and great performance. To the Denman boys, they tried hard, and I think they were their own worst enemies again. They just dropped the pill a couple of times in crucial field position, and they turned it over when they had really good attacking space, and they probably, they'll rue a couple of those chances, but there's a big arc to make the semis with 5 games to go. They're still 4 points behind Scone, and I don't know whether they can catch that up. They'll have to pull out a miracle to make the semi, and they've been very tight. The under-18 games are very tight.
2 draws last weekend.
Yeah, and they only got beat by Singo, who was still undefeated, didn't they?
Yeah, only just.
They only just got beat by Singo in a really tight game, and on that day I think Denman only had 12 players.
Yeah, and under-18s, as we've said, is a year that is love. You can't go back. They're the fun years. They're the great years of playing under.
Max Shepherdson, I've given one from Muswellbrook. Max Shepherdson is just. His season's been outstanding for the Denman under-18 boys. He just goes so well and puts in every week.
Yeah. Your under-18s boys, mate?
Yeah, they got pipped in a close one. It's amazing that in the opening weeks of the under-18s competition, Singleton looked light years ahead of anybody, but the other teams, 4 teams, seem to be clawing their way back a little bit. And I think I've watched the Scone 18s 4 or 5 times, and I've said this to them personally, that they're just a few little things away from being sitting in that top 2. I think, like, 20-all draw against Muswellbrook and then going down by 8 or 10 or whatever it was last week. They're games that they could be winning, and you don't want to be sitting there on Mad Monday thinking about this game and that game that might have cost you an opportunity to play in a major semi, and then we all know that if you get in that major, that completely changes the whole season. But young Darmsy, the hooker there, he is a terrific young player. I think I've got a hell of a lot of time for him. I think he's a guy that within sort of 2 or 3 years, I see playing plenty of first grade for us, hopefully, if he doesn't go on to further things.
Yeah, no, they've got some great players up there, but I like I saw the Aberdeen outfit the other day, and even though they didn't play, you've got great depth coming through from that there.
Most of them boys are a year young as well, so there's good signs there. But and they're like, but the 18s is actually really exciting to watch. I love getting down and watching them boys play. Some real good youngsters like Mitchie Comerford and that coming through. So
So, sorry Reggie, before you move on, so to probably more to you, Benko, with guys like Stevie Dengate and young King, are they guys that Muswellbrook could look to build a first grade squad around?
No question, Hags. I don't know what Stevie's he might follow his brother to Newcastle, but he'll probably have one more year here maybe, and then perhaps follow Paul to maybe the Newcastle comp area. I'm not 100% sure, but certainly Kingy, I think he would revel in grade football. You know, maybe I think a few of the other younger boys may need a little bit more maturing. But there's no question, certainly Jai King.
But that'd be that, as we spoke, to build a successful first grade squad. If you looked into guys like Bailey Taylor and Bailey Ellis, and understandable they're not here at the moment, but what could we do to get them back is the question.
Well, I don't know about Bailey Ellis. He might be firmly cemented in the Newcastle comp now. But in saying that, let's hope Bailey gets over that really nasty arm break. That's a big question mark there. But
I like how he told us it's a minimum 2 weeks till he plays.
I think his mother and father would have something to say about that. But while we're talking about that, you look at the Muswellbrook reserve grade now, and a majority of those players are either 1 year just out of juniors or 2 years out of juniors. I coached a few of them in 2017, and they've stepped up. There's no question, and I think this is their maturing year for them. I still think that not all of them. Don't get me wrong. Some of them would have revelled in playing first grade. 100%. Wade McKenzie would have revelled in first grade competition.
Butto as well.
Jacob Button would have revelled in it as well, and people like Choppy Mackay, who was in the 18s in 2016. Choppy's already played A grade as well.
I've said they need to get back Joby Stevens. You know,
and that's a real possibility that Joby would get itchy feet again and come back in 220.
Now, I had a conversation with Mitch Taylor about Bailey and himself, because the way that Mitch had been playing up at Aberdeen, and he wanted it to happen this year, but to see them two brothers play together would be great, no matter what team they were playing for. I'd like to see it. Bailey's just not interested at the moment. Was sort of his mind isn't there, and if he hasn't got that love for wanting to be out there like you do,
and you can't force it on him.
You can't force it on. But Mitch also heads overseas to Russia. And so next year would be a write-off if that was to happen, be it Aberdeen or Muswellbrook. But you're right, they're the type of players that they need to be asking the questions. I still say, he's got having another child, but Cade Boney, I'd love to see him back out there. I think you guys would too. He's a class player, and just to have one more season to fill that void, he'd be great. But
and to a bloke like Cade, imagine being the bloke that steered Muswellbrook back into first grade.
That's what I've said to all the boys that I've spoken to. Everyone comes up and says, there's some negatives in that. And I said, imagine the best part about it is the team that puts their hand up, you make the semi-finals next year. That would be a great thrill. But, retention across all grades is what our goal is. It's not just Muswellbrook. We want to see Denman, Aberdeen, Scone, Greta Brixton especially, and Singleton does really well, but I want to see that player retention, whether there's methods we come up with at the group level as a reduction. Anyway, there's many formulas you can put in place. But
there's a lot of guys also, a lot of the young guys, Hags and Fitz, is that when a lot of young guys get apprenticeships, they're weighing it up, and a lot of them will say, well, I'd rather first year apprenticeship, I'm not going to play footy because of the obvious reasons through injury or something, and I totally agree with that. You know, it's a hard call.
And you got the bosses putting pressure on.
Absolutely, and it's a hard call. And then once they're out of first year or second year apprenticeship, unfortunately for these young blokes, they throw them on bloody shift work.
Yeah.
So it is a tough call for all the young blokes. And look, we know not every kid's going to get thrown into an apprenticeship in the mining industry or whatever. But I agree with you, Reggie. If we can retain some kids and try and get Group 21 back bigger and better next year with the influx of Greta Brankston and the Rams, that'd be sensational.
Yeah, I think that discussions are well underway, but like I said, I'd like to see the clubs take their own initiative and get together and say, look, we want this to happen in the best interest. We're enemies out there on the field, but let's business-wise, let's sit down. Let's not wait for the Country Rugby League or someone else to step in. In reserve grade, Merriwell 46 accounted for Muswellbrook 6, which we had question marks over Mick Henry with that bad shoulder injury, how they had step up Muswellbrook. But Merriwell, they're dominant. They'll be there at the end of the year, I believe. Scone 24 defeated Singleton 4. Denman 28 defeated Murrumbidgee 12. Greta Brankston Aberdeen game was postponed, but again, it could be postponed this weekend. Last thing coming to air Thursday night, it was still Greta Brankston was shut down. But Denman 28, Murrumbidgee 12. Of course, the game was called short, but Denman did have the upper hand.
Mate, it was a dead set surprise to me because I looked at the group of guys that went out there knowing that, well, 5 or 6 of them were going to be playing A grade as well, Hags. They were all going to play A grade as well. Unfortunately, the game got called off early due to Jacko, his injury. But I think it was a really gutsy performance by the Denman side to beat Murrumbidgee out there. I think there was only 7 minutes to go, wasn't there? Something like that. Just on the Merriwell Muswellbrook game, I know Muswellbrook, I think in the end, or the last part of that game, they only had maybe 12 players. Wow. They had 3 or 4, I think they had 3 players pull out on Sunday morning. And that just threw a cat amongst the pigeons for the Deacon boys, Johnny and Mick, in terms of coaching. They didn't have any answers. So I think a lot of boys just had to step up in roles they weren't familiar with, and it's difficult with 12 players and you haven't got a sub on the bench, mate. You know, most teams have suffered that this year.
The Sky game.
Yeah, so I watched the first half and it was a real arm wrestle. I think it might have been 6-4 at half time, and obviously the Scone boys come out and done the job in the second half. But from what I've seen, Drew Brown was absolutely phenomenal in reserve grade, and Jake Bailey is every week one of the better players in the reserve grade comp. I think them two sort of stand out most weeks. And then Drew came on and played first grade, which he hasn't done for 18 months or whatever, but he was terrific in first grade as well. But just quickly on Merriwell, I think it's a credit to everyone involved out there with how they've turned around. I actually work with Nathan Barry, the coach, and it pains me to say it. Anyone that knows Bazzy can be a bit of a punish, but he's obviously done a terrific job out there because it's been a very, very long time since Merriwell were on top of reserve grade comp.
Yeah, no, and look, I brought that up the other week, 1999, 2000, 2001. It just seems to be a repeat of that era when they were really dominant with the likes of Glenn Austin and Lance Cox. And
it was a good effort because they were coming off 2 losses.
Yeah.
They were coming off 2 losses.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure they were. So it was that was, you know, no one, well, Merriwell wouldn't have known the players were pulled out from Muswellbrook. So that was a great result for the Merriwell boys.
Yeah, well, I saw Ben Morgan in the images still playing, and he must have come back out there. So, you know, he's heart and soul. And Seth Morgan, of course, he's just a quality outfit. He should be in a first grade side himself. So, but we'll get to first grade. The Scone 58 defeated Singleton zip, and Aberdeen 70, Denman 6. Scone game first. We didn't obviously get to see it, so what went down there, mate?
Oh, last 2 weeks we've had big wins over Singleton, but the scorecard has not resembled the game at all. It's been tough in the forwards.
Yep.
And I can guarantee you that it hasn't been a walkover at all. Singleton, they've had a few out as well, which
did Newenhouse play?
Newenhouse played both weeks. Frank Paul played on the weekend, and he was a handful. And it's been quite a tough tussle in the middle, as I said. But we just sort of seem to be getting a few tries and once we sort of get on a bit of momentum, the boys are having a bit of success there. It's not real. It's hard. They're two funny games when you're playing them to sort of discuss. But yeah, it's hard when you're on there because you're in the battle, and I'm usually got my hands on my hips blowing anyway.
Can we mic you up?
Yeah, well, you get some puffing and panting. But no, for top of, as I said earlier, scoring 5 tries on the weekend, you don't see that all that often. And yeah, so it was great to see.
Yeah, look, is it the ruck? Is that where Ascona is sort of more dominant? The line speed from their defence, they get penalised at times because they are so so enthusiastic. But is it you guys to win against Scone? Is it dominating the ruck and quick play the balls in attack? Is that the only way, or
100%? Yeah, got to get them bloody on the back foot really, and you got to really sort of stop them from getting on the front foot when they're running the ball, because like Daniel Ritter and that cut in behind the ruck, and if they get a quick play the ball, it's just Adam and Wixie are both gone. So.
Yeah, as it's been something you've spoken about, it has to be, and focus on training is your defence against Scone, because no one seems to be. Benko's been reading when it's, we can see it coming out like a sore thumb when they get a bit of momentum and who goes into dummy half, but the markers aren't reading it.
Yeah, you just got to be aware. You've got to do a lot better job and try and pick up when Adam's going in there. So.
Right now, there's no team that's matching you guys with your line defence or your line attack, for that matter, and that's what is just been so dominant, Hakes, in my mind.
Yeah, Benko, I mean, it probably sounds stupid. I've never been involved. I think I played my first game first grade in 05, and in that time I've never been involved with a club or a squad that are as tight knit as our sort of last 4 or 5 years. We're just a bunch of mates out there ripping in, and that's what it's like at training, and that's what it's like after training. We all go for a beer. After games, everyone's back at the club, and there's just no rubbish involved with anyone, and that's what our defensive line is. You're sitting there lined up next to your best mate firing chocolate shots, and that's just.
Well, the squad hasn't. Would it be fair to say that the squad hasn't changed much? The squad of let's say 20 players, 17 to 20 players. The squad hasn't changed a great deal over the last 4 to 5 years.
If you said 25 blokes since the 2015 season where we had the long one against them, and I think we probably haven't really changed a hell of a lot. We've had a few guys that age has got the better of, but other than that, we haven't had a hell of a lot of blokes leave town or anything like that. So we're very fortunate in that, and and it's an absolute pleasure to play with the blokes that are still there. I might have walked away a couple of years ago, getting a bit long in the tooth, but it's just so much fun. Going to training's fun. Nothing's a chore. It's just it's really good. So
see, that just breeds success, doesn't it?
I think it breeds enthusiasm, and then and having some guys that are pretty good with the ball in their hands, like Adam and Topper and Apthorpe and those sort of guys. I think that breeds the success.
No question.
Whereas if you have guys kicking stones and dragging their heels, it really makes it hard to achieve anything, I think.
Who's the driving force in that squad, in the team? Let's say in the game, if things start to turn a little bit sour early, after 20 minutes, the thing that I noticed in the first, say, half a dozen games, even though the score blew out, but it has been close. You've made it equally in the first 20 minutes. The error count is very much on even par.
Yep.
But then you just seem to get that wind and you just go bang, So who's the guy that says, right, is it Adam or is it Daniel?
Oh, it's Dan Ritter, without a doubt. Yeah. He's the leader, but Adam's certainly got a voice. There's no doubts about that. And but no, Dan's the one. And the thing that everyone would probably have an opinion on Dan Ritter, good or bad, but when the going gets tough, he's the first bloke to put his hand up, and I don't think there'd be anyone in the comp that would disagree with that.
No, it's true.
Okay, the Aberdeen 70, Denman 6, Benko.
Oh mate, I've spoke on it. Maybe you should ask Fitzy. It was pretty demoralising, but I just said, Denver were well short, but you guys had your fair share of first graders out as well, mate.
Yeah, we had Marcus, Hughes, Hincho, a few boys out, and then a couple of people pull out on game day morning. My brother being one of them, and So yeah,
that didn't go down too well. I spoke to your dad.
Yeah, no, he wasn't very happy. So, and Jake Duffin was just out there watching the game, and we asked him if he wanted to have a game.
And he stood up.
Yeah,
didn't he?
I was fresh.
Yeah.
Aberdeen reserve grade didn't play, so that was they didn't play on the weekend. So that Dave Manane, I thought Dave Manane played exceptionally well.
Yeah.
Shawnee Millwood, he never shut up, but he still played well, and like you said, players would pull out and the other guys stood up, and that's the beauty of the game in Group 21 when you guys have been there, and when players pull out, people will put their hands up that normally wouldn't think, well, I'm never going to play first grade, but all of a sudden someone's throwing them a jumper, and I think they go out there and they will give it their best shot. They will give it their best shot.
I thought Liam Wilton was really strong off the bench. That was his second game back from the shoulder. So he'd be a handy inclusion in the coming weeks. And
I think it's going to be hard. Like when you get a full squad back, who to take out of there? Because as you said, I'd be having Sean Millwood off the bench myself. Coming into the finals at least, because he brings a different dynamic. But
he drives you crazy.
Yeah,
he's just in there. He's in your ear the whole time. He's in your ear the whole game, and he just brings that enthusiasm. It can be bloody annoying, but he'll just bring it that enthusiasm. And if you're alongside a teammate of Shawnee Millwood and you're not pulling your weight, mate, you're going to get a spray.
So Shawnee and Lee Mitchell probably both. I love it when they're in the first grade side because they just offer so much and they cover so many positions. So,
Do you think that that would be something like coming into? We'll go over the ladders first, and then I'll bring it up. Ladies League tags: Scone 18 points, Murungai 16 points, Marywar 15 points, Singleton 9 points, Muswellbrook 8 points, Aberdeen 8 points, Devon 2 points. You got the under 18s, Tom?
18. Singleton are on 19 points, Muswellbrook 13, Aberdeen 12, Scone 9, and Denman 5 with lost points due to some sort of a breach there.
Yes, Benko.
Reserve grade, probably the closest grade. Marywar on top on 18 with one game ahead because they played on the June long weekend. Scone next on 17, breathing down their neck. Aberdeen 13, Singleton 12, Muswellbrook 10, and then we have a group of teams on 2 points, Murrundi, Greta Bringston and Denman. So really, it's that battle for fourth spot is so crucial. Even, the host, they don't get to host it, but the third spot on the ladder, there's only 3 points between three teams.
In first grade we have Scone undefeated on 20 points, Aberdeen 10 points, Singleton 6 and Denman on 4.
Who matches it with you? Tom, I'm going to put it to you straight away. Who do you think you guys will meet in the major semi?
I think come finals time, she's a whole new ball game. I think everyone needs to recognise that, and not only we certainly will. I think that if things go the way they are, we should be playing Aberdeen in the major semi-final. Hopefully that'll be at Scone if everything goes right. And it should be game one. Should be a whole new game, and it won't matter one little bit what's happened throughout the season.
Well, even if you lose,
I was going to say
you've got to lose your next 5 games, and that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But even if you lost your next 5 games and Aberdeen won their next 5 games,
that'd have to be by large margins.
Well, you're going to win on for and against anyway. So I mean, I still believe right now it'll be a Scone Aberdeen, and I've said that for a number of weeks, only based on player availability right now, and I think the Aberdeen enthusiasm. I saw it last week, and I was very impressed by the Aberdeen side. I've only seen Scone a couple of times. It's only because of the way situations run with the draw, but that was my tip.
I think if you look at the Singleton side that we played on the weekend, you throw Bradley in there, you throw Tommy Johnson in there, and there was 4 or 5 others that they had out. They're a hell of an outfit. I don't think that they can be overlooked one little bit.
Jakey Smith, did he play?
Yeah, Jake come back, but he looked a little bit busted, so I think he might have come back early to give him a bit of a hand. But they're a quality side at their best, and I think, as we spoke about with Muswellbrook, I think it's huge for Singleton that in years to come they hang on to Ewan Howes and Bradley and Johnson, and that's your spine to build your team around there for years and years.
Cody Argent, you got Morgan Emity, who's playing great football.
Yeah, he's been good.
And we don't know what's happened with Bailey Schultz out as well. So
did Joel Bailey play on the weekend too?
Yeah, he came off the bench and
did he?
run. I think he ended up at halfback at one stage. He was kicking and all sorts of things. So feeding scrums. I didn't know presidents were allowed to do that. I might have to give myself the 7 next week.
The question I was going to ask now is that Aberdeen on 13 points are going to be in the finals, I fully believe.
Yeah. I think we've got 2 games in. Oh no, we've got 1 game in hand there.
Yeah, so do you take a fresh 4 players in there off the bench into the finals? Have you got the numbers to do it? And second part of the question is, would you take 3 and have that 4th one as Sean Millwood if he finishes the game fit?
Yeah, I think the plan will be for Hooks and Ass will be taking 16 and then 1 from us, because we're starting to get a lot of numbers back, and with the likes of Ethan Christensen and that back in reserve grade, we're going to have a pretty good outfit there. So, no.
Ethan Christensen's back.
Yeah,
wow.
he was making his debut for us. He's on the books, and he was playing at Greta this weekend if it goes ahead. So it'll be a very handy inclusion.
Wow.
I don't know what you want me to say. Very solid.
What would you do?
It's a solid squad.
What would you do?
Well, Aberdeen, if everyone's on deck, Aberdeen have got a very, very difficult choice. You know, Hass and say Hoogs back is very difficult. You got young Dylan Porter there too.
Yeah.
At 5'8", that didn't play last week. He pulled out, I think, on the morning, Sunday morning. But he'd been playing good football. You know, reasonably good football. So look, I mean, I'm not a selector, but it's going to be a headache. But you'd take Shawnee Millwood on in the squad in the 17.
Yeah, if Shawnee wanted to play, I would definitely have him in my first grade squad.
Oh, no question.
And the Scone outfit, you guys don't have any problem with depth. You got
that's
you got
not
Jakey Collison's.
Yeah, not depth as in quality, but depth as in numbers.
Yeah.
This year's been a hell of a lot different. Last year we took 17 into the first grade, and that was the fortunate part of where we ended up with 4 teams in it. It didn't matter who'd played what games leading into the grand final. If Scone didn't make the grand final last year in first grade, there would have been half a dozen blokes couldn't play in the reserve grade game. I would have been one of them, just due to the fact that they weren't qualified. But that sort of having everyone healthy at the right time of year. That was where that ended up last year. So I think that major semi-final day, if we're playing in reserve grade, it looks at the moment, we should be there in reserve grade and first grade in the major semi, that we might have 1 or 2 fresh and maximum, I'd say.
Yeah.
But that's that's the way that we've been doing it all year, so I don't think you need to change too much, and you don't rob Peter to pay Paul, whatever the old saying is. So, we are one club, and there's no point weakening the reserve grade side too much to have 1 extra bloke sitting on the bench, I think.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. We don't have any games this weekend due to the washout round, so at this stage, Aberdeen could still play Greater Branxton, but look, that by the sounds of it's going to be put off. But the next first grade match that does come about is Aberdeen taking on Scone. So you're feeling confident that they're going to be having a number of players back for that game?
Yeah. I'm hoping that we have 4 or 5 blokes from the weekend team come back into that team, and we really want to knock off Scone. So
yeah.
Oh, they're welcome to try. No, but that's first
that's
grade.
why I've been waiting for the banter between you two.
No, but that's first grade footy, but we'd be kidding ourselves if every week that we didn't think that we know that we've got a massive target on our back, and a lot of it's a lot easier said than done, but we just turn up every week and hopefully continue what we've been doing.
And no thoughts of 2017, when I think it was the 17 or 16.
I was playing at Devon in 17.
Oh, but there's been no talk in the club, like that's been brought up obviously, like don't get too complacent guys. We got knocked out in the last round for the first defeat, then lost the major, then lost the final.
Oh, that was, geez, how long ago was that, Reggie? That was about
16, 17 I think it was.
No, 16 we won it.
17 then.
17.
Because it was Muswellbrook Aberdeen, and Aberdeen beat Muswellbrook at Muswellbrook.
Yeah,
17 Aberdeen beat us in the minor semi.
Yeah, that's.
I think in 14, I think we might have been nearly went through undefeated and got knocked out in straight sets. But
every year just.
Yeah, no, we don't talk about it. That's footy. We're pretty comfortable with where we've been the last couple of years. We're sort of 2 of the last 3. I think it's a pretty fair record. But at the end of the day, it's a different squad, and I think my proudest aspect is that blokes within the club have stepped up this year with having lost 6 or 7 out of last year's starting side. And obviously I've got to go back to the fact we've added Adam Kaiser as well, but it's just so good. yeah, it's just so good to have, like, to be sort of self-producing a little bit, and if that's one thing that as a president the club remains to do long after my time's gone, well, I'll be a very proud man.
Well, that's very good job by yourself, and thank you for coming down and being a guest on the couch. I noticed you've got your Pertec hat on too, mate.
Oh, it's sunny outside, Reg.
Yep.
Yeah, just
Gus Mather.
Gus, yes, Gus and the boys.
Great.
Well, I got to support the boys, you know.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. We've got the Bengalla shirts that Bengalla came on board.
Well, it's hand in hand, isn't it?
Yeah.
Bengalla and Pertec.
So it's been fantastic. So, and that's the reason I bring that up, boys, is because on behalf of Bengalla, they've asked us for the guests that come on the show, a polo for you each,
Thank you very much for that.
as the major sponsors of the group. They've been very good, and they're trying their utmost to get.
I think that one will fit you, Hugs.
Yep,
What is
squeeze
it?
into it, you reckon?
There you go, mate. All the best.
Thank you.
But thank you for your time, and Tom, thanks for your time. Great to have you back. But if at any time you guys want to join us in the commentary team as well, more than welcome to come along and add some thoughts. We've got semi-finals coming up. Might grab one of you, might grab
No,
you,
without
Tom.
a doubt. You can have a yarn to Mrs. Hagan and tell her why I've got to be at footy Saturday and Sundays on a weekend.
Yeah.
We'll be right.
Yeah, a lead balloon, that'll go down.
Doesn't go down well at Benko.
No.
But we try.
No, we do what we can.
Yeah.
That's it.
Rightio, well that's it for us. And another week to Tom Hagan. I was going to say Ben again, but I'll get smashed when after the show. And Liam, thanks very much for your time. If you want to catch up with us, you've got any questions, fire them through to us on our Facebook page. We'll get there. But thanks everyone for your support, and see you next week.
Thank you.